What's up? Hi, everyone. Happy Monday after Thanksgiving, so we're all still a little turkey hungover. My name is David, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. We are coming at you from our studio here in the heart of it's now really cold Las Vegas, Nevada, with our daily live show. Today, we are talking Bitcoin going to 10K, BlockFi officially files for bankruptcy, also some rumors of a hex. The Hexicans have had it with Richard Hart. We're going to talk about that and much, much more. But before we can talk about that and much, much more, I'd like to introduce you to your other co-host, Big Rob. What's up?
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, the stale information and package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, the Raiders won yesterday, and for no apparent reason, because you're probably not going to make the playoffs, and now you're just destroying your draft picks.
You know,
it wasn't supposed to be horn, Rocco. No horn.
Yes, horn. Let's get getting horny in here. Weird. You know, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving weekend break. You know, it was nice to spend some time with our family for myself. What did you end up doing, Robin? How much did you overcook your turkey?
Turkey was not overcooked. It was perfectly
Moist and juicy?
Yes, 100%. Are you a leg and thigh kind of guy? Or are you white meat?
I'm a breast.
Yeah,
Breast man.
not surprised. You like the driest meat ever. Matches your personality.
So funny. Let us know how your Thanksgiving was, you guys. Was there any drama at the dinner table? You know, obviously when you on holidays where you bring the whole family together, there has to be that one uncle, that one cousin, one family member.
An aunt. She's Portuguese, right? Like no English. I mean, she says like hello and thank you and goodbye, you know. And she's at the dinner table on Thanksgiving. She's like Rabin, blah, blah, blah. He's like FTX. What is? And I'm like, I'm selling everything. I'm selling it all. Doesn't even know what blockchain is, but yet knows. He's got a beat on Sam Bankman-Fried. You know?
You should have dug in. You should have been like, "Well, what do you know about it? I want to see what kind of info she's getting from her."
She did. She was like, "Yeah, some guy with some hair," and I was like, "That about sums it up right there."
Man. So obviously the whole FTX thing going on. We know Ben Armstrong is in the Bahamas. Ben the bounty hunter. He's in the Bahamas and he's trying to get Sam Bankman-Fried to talk to him. I think he sat down with one of the authorities from the Bahamas Security and Exchange Commission. So, you know, big ups to him. This is something, you know, I feel like the people in our, like the media outlets and, you know, the Justice Department, whoever it is, right? This man literally broke almost every single law you can think of, stealing customer funds, not acting in a fiduciary responsibility, the whole Alameda FTX relationship, which we've seen nothing of the sort, like I can say probably ever, probably wrong, but and nothing has happened, right? There are talks of, he's going to come in front of Congress and then he has to testify. And then we find out that he is still invited to speak at that New York Times thing, which to me was baffling. Right? And the person, I believe, and I could be wrong, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, the person who's moderating that is the same person that wrote that fluff piece for the New York Times on Sam Bankman-Fried when everything started collapsing. What are your thoughts on that, Robin? Do you think it's a slap to the face of every single person who got absolutely annihilated and wrecked by Sam and FTX? Not just retail, but all these projects are saying they got blackballed. Everyone else that's been affected, for him to still have a stage to speak on with people like, who else is speaking on that panel, by the way? Larry Fink is speaking on that panel.
So there's been conflicting info on him speaking. And so, one, he's not going to show up for sure. Now, there's talks of him joining via like a video feed.
Video call.
And so he might join via video call, but even then, I doubt he's going to show up. And he hasn't come out publicly saying he's going to do it, other than that little tweet where I guess he did publicly say it. But anyways, supposedly, don't hold your breath. Just put it that way. And so if to answer your question, if he does show up, that's a bad look, man.
On
Right?
who? Who is it a bad look on?
On everybody. It's a bad look on New York Times. It's a bad look for anybody attending that meeting because they're, you know what I mean? Like, could you imagine if you
sharing the stage with Bernie Madoff?
Yeah, I mean, well, just imagine if you're at attendance, like you pay to go there. I mean, yeah, I guess it's for one, you get this, you get entertainment. I guess you get some juicy content, something that is going to be covered. But at the same time, like that the reason you're going to this conference is to discuss what is the topic of it? It's like a future
I don't know. I know
business leader
Zuckerberg
thing.
speaking, Larry Fink is speaking.
Yeah. So,
I don't know the details, but
it's a distraction from the real narrative, right? Because the reason they're having this conference is to spur innovation, to get people together, to build, to move the space forward. And it's not even a crypto thing, but it's just supposed to be, industry and the biggest, most powerful people discussing what they have in plans and what the roadmap for, the globe's going to look like. And then you got this clown over here. If he shows up, it's a distraction because now anybody that, when this is over, anybody that's going to discuss how the event went, what do you think they're going to talk about? They're going to talk about Sam Bankman-Fried joining and his thoughts. They're going to break down every little word he has. And so I think it's counterintuitive for the people that are hosting it. They shouldn't even keep that avenue open and be like, look, man, sorry, dude. You're a freaking crook. You're a criminal. We don't want you over here. Nobody cares what you want to say. Even if it would draw eyeballs, it's the wrong kind of eyeballs, right?
yeah.
You're taking away from the reason you're even having that conference. And these things happen all the time. We go to different conferences and they pay for public speakers. That's essentially what it is. And, they give these speakers money to show up, give their thoughts and their opinion. And you get big names. And that's generally how you can afford.
Let me ask you this question, Robin. If you're Larry Fink, you're Mark Zuckerberg, these people with big platforms that are well-known names in any space, business, crypto, whatever, and you find out that this dude is still going to have a platform to speak, are you tying yourself to that panel, or are you dropping out?
I mean, I'm still going to be there. Here's the thing: you're under contract. You get paid to speak, and so if you're a public speaker, it's just another job. I mean, it wouldn't change me. I don't think it's going to tarnish anybody's record for speaking at the same conference that somebody else is speaking at. And I think that's more on the institution that is organizing it. New York Times, how you doing? So yeah.
These news publications are an absolute joke.
I do want to give a quick shout out though. We have was it Crypto Sound? Crypto Sound dropped 10 gifted memberships.
Okay. CS. Okay, CS.
Or no, not Crypto Sound. Excuse me. Crypto Music, man. My bad.
Oh, my
The
bad.
Sound of Music. So. But we have Shirley Sound is in the chat. So, we got a lot of acoustic names in here today. Also, we got Adam Clark and C-Cats or Kratz. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Community, we missed you.
I missed you guys. For sure.
I did too.
Yeah. So a couple of things. So Huffy said is official BlockFi bankruptcy from today priced in. I believe so. Guys, it was a foregone conclusion. Literally less than 24 hours after FTX collapsed, BlockFi came out and pretty much said, yo, we're done. So I think that is I think almost everything now is priced in. Would you agree? The only thing that's not priced in, which is a variable, is the miners, right? If Core Scientific goes under, although they don't have that much Bitcoin left on their balance sheet to get rid of, if they go under, that can have huge implications. Obviously, any other mining company. So I think what we're waiting for the bottom, guys, barring any other FTX level debacles, right, is the miners. Once the miners, and I don't believe they've 100% capitulated. Once they 100% capitulate, I think that's when we're going to see the bottom. It's been true every cycle thus far. But this time it's a little different. Obviously, money printers aren't on. The macro climate is bad. And that is why the thumbnail and topic of the show was Bitcoin at 10K. And I'm going to start by sharing Bitcoin's chart. So the first chart I want to share is the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. And we've kind of been range bound between this 15.8, 16.6. Nothing exciting really happening. But if you hop over to the daily chart on Bitcoin, we broke the previous support, which was solid at 20K, right? Last cycle's high, right? We stay, and I'll zoom in here so you guys can see a little better. We consolidated at this level-ish area for a long time. I mean, we would knock up against 18.8, 20K, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and then we broke on the FTX news. We've been following this trend line that we've had since the cycle top, which was back in November of last year at 69K. We haven't been able to break above. We did test this recently, this 21,000, but again, got rejected. And now we're consolidating. And so if you take a look, like, all right, what are the next levels? So the very next level is 12,900, right? We bumped up against this back in July of 2019, again in August of 2019, and finally August of 2020 before we broke out here in October of 2020 when we started our massive rally to 70K. But outside of that, if we fall below that, you're looking at 10 to 12.5K. And so, Robin, if you were to, and of course, this is hypothetical, but if we capitulate and we break down and we test this $12,900, $13,000, do you think we're going to see a bounce? And even if we do see a bounce, what the chart tells us is if we see a bounce, we're bumping into 14K, like right off the bat, which if we're still in a bear market, right, and everything's still the same, macro's the same, everything's still the same, we're going to get rejected again and test 12.5. You think we're going to 12.5 and that's going to be our bottom, or you think we're going to 10?
I think 10 is more. I think if we go down to 12, we'll go down to 10. But I don't think we'll stay there. I don't think we'll stay down there for very long. I think we're at a pivotal moment where we're testing this support. And I don't think we'll break under 15K without another insolvency of a big player. Do you agree? Do you think if we just stay the course, no new bankruptcies come up, no insolvencies or freezings, or no like big name companies having problems, and that could also include
Core Scientific?
That could also include miners. I think barring any of that, if the major players make it through this bear market,
is legislation
legislation
considered a big event?
Yeah, I don't think legislation is going to come within the next month or two. It is as much as FTX has put a spotlight on the crypto markets and the need for regulation. Let's keep in mind that laws don't get passed quickly. Bills don't get passed quickly, and barring an executive order, there still won't be anything done within the next 60 days.
But Rob, you know that when something like this happens, right? Something big happens and it affects both sides, right? We know SBF and FTX, they were mega donors to both Democrats and Republicans. So they were playing both sides of the aisle.
It still doesn't change the speed of which bills get passed.
I mean, could that be a catalyst to say, all right, we need to do some
But yeah, it is. But even with that, you might have taken what might have taken 2 years to pass
and do it in 8 months.
And doing it in 4 to 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I think in 4 to 8 months, I think we'll be out of the bottom of the market. Now, I don't think we'll be out of the bear market, but I think we'll be out of the 10 to 15K zone. And so I don't think legislation will play a part in what would define the bottom.
Really?
Yeah, just because legislation ain't gonna get passed. You know, the DDCP?
DCCPA. Dollar cost average. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, anyway, so there is one bill out there right now, and that is going to be the one that's most likely to get go up for a vote first, and that's still months out. And so
I want to know what the chat thinks. What do you guys think? Do you think legislation, right, could be the bottom for Bitcoin? Put a 1 in the chat. If you don't think so, put a 2 in the chat.
you know what I think is going to happen? I think that we're going to see congressional interrogations, questioning. And I think if there is exposure to fraud from the politicians that directly ties into FTX through the investigations that are coming out now, all those are going to come to light. And I think Congress, especially, let's just say if it's Democrats as an example, because they're the ones that receive the most funding from FTX. If Democrats are implicit in the fraud and they have a direct hand in some of the malpractices of FTX, that the Republicans that hold the House right now are going to ramp up the pressure. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that the Democrats held the House and Senate, and then what they were doing was bringing up for investigation anything and everything that opposed the Democratic Party that could put a stain on the other side. And we're already starting to see it now with the student loan forgiveness by the Democratic Party or the president. And so I'm telling you, if the Republicans are like, yo, this congressman, this senator, whatever it is,
this chairman of the SEC,
they were actively involved in this scheme, this fraud, and they're facts.
Complicit.
Yeah, bro, they're going to open up an investigation, and they're going to be called up to answer on that. And I'm just saying, if it comes from the Democratic side, now we know money went both ways, but there was a ton of money.
What was interesting to me was all the people that got money from the Democrat, not all of them, but on the Democrat side, they were all on the Financial House Oversight Committee, which is where these companies go, where SBF testified, where Charles Hoskinson testified, where Gary Gensler testifies. These are the people that were getting money from FTX, not just Sam Bankman-Fried, from other executives as well. And so but here's the thing, that's not anything new, right? It's called lobbying, right? But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out.
Do have a couple of new people I just want to give a shout out to. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola to you. So we have Tug-Eye, Casey, Armani J. We got Peter Prevost. I know a couple of y'all have been here before. Jeeves, Huffy, Brooke in Nagamutu. He says shout out from New Zealand, lads.
What's up?
We got Adam Clark, Brendan, and Sister Love KNR. What do you think KNR is?
I don't know.
And why is our production team giggling back there? What y'all giggling about back there?
They're laughing
at how
Giga Chad. I like Giga Chad. Let me ask you a question. Are you more of a New Zealand lamb chop guy or a Colorado lamb chop guy?
Oh man, you gotta go to Colorado all the time. Let me tell y'all something. In New Zealand, what do they got in New Zealand? What do you picture?
Tread carefully, bro.
I'm just saying. What do you imagine when you see New Zealand, right? You have an island nation.
Be careful.
You have a lot of green, a lot of grass. There's a lack of corn out there. And why do I bring this up?
That is the dumbest.
I'm a chef, man. And so anyways, there's a lack of corn. So what happens is the more grass that an animal eats, the more gamey and the more like wild tasting.
Right.
And so we're used to this corn fed cattle.
It's
and
called
also lamb. And as you feed these grains instead of grass over to your livestock, they get less of that gamey taste. And you know what? New Zealand lamb, you give it a little too much grass, really funky, man. You open up that package, it's like, whoo! Especially it travels all the way from New Zealand over here to the States. By the time it gets there, it's already at least a week and a half old. I'm just letting you know, man. I've opened up a lot of lamb, cooked a lot of lamb. You like that?
You mean
like that barnyard smell?
Overcooked a lot of lamb.
If you like that barnyard smell, get that New Zealand. If you like more natural.
So let me ask you something. Somebody they ordered in a Greek restaurant lamb. Where is the lamb from?
It's from Greece, duh. A lot of
Depends.
people
That's why-
like the
that's why
gamey.
you
A lot of
gotta
people
ask.
like the gamey lamb because that's how it should taste.
But man,
right?
sometimes it's so gamey, it like literally will smell up the whole kitchen, the entire restaurant, and sometimes it just overpowers everything.
Yeah.
Brooke, what's your vibe on this lamb over there? You eating the national currency over there or what?
Also, big shout out to Russell. Russell was with us when we were like 200 subscribers. So
Did we get to 6,000 yet?
I'm happy you asked because we did.
Did we?
We officially hit 6K subs, you guys.
6,001 subscribers.
Let's go, baby. Appreciate you guys. We love you. It's been quite a journey, and we're excited to keep this thing going. So, now, Rob, I want to pivot to this. On a scale of 1 to 10, okay? 1 being you don't trust a single word this person says. 10 being I trust everything he says.
I trust like half the things you say.
Not me.
Oh.
Where would you rank CZ? 1, you don't trust a damn word. 10, you trust everything. Where's your trust radar on CZ from Binance?
Okay. If I was having a conversation with him at a coffee shop, a restaurant, eating a delicious lamb, I would say I would have a 10. Now, however,
A 10?
a 10. I trust everything he would say. Now,
Okay.
if I'm looking at his tweet thread, I'm looking at his PR statements, that's a different story. I might be at a 6 there because this dude has a lot of interest. A lot of what he says is motivated for the good of his own business, the good of crypto, the prices on exchanges. He's got to bite his tongue on saying things he truly believes in because it might pump the market in either a good or bad way, right?
So you trust him more than me.
Okay, he could sit here. He could be the biggest ApeCoin bull ever. He's just like, yo, this project is amazing. He can't go out and say that in a public format because he knows that it'll pump the price. So he has to hold back from what he would like to say. And I'm just giving you an extreme cap. I'm giving you a smaller cap because ApeCoin's trash. But
ApeCoin is trash.
yes, it is.
Okay.
It's also up 20. It's up 8% today in the last 24 hours. By the way.
Real quick before you move on, chat. Where would you put your trust in CZ? 1, you don't trust him. 10, you trust him. Let us know. 1 to 10. Okay, continue. So you're saying you trust this man more than you trust your own business partner.
I think if you're having a real man-to-man conversation and in a non-public setting, I think he's going to be very open and honest. But
Based
at the same
on
time,
what? Based on what? Based on
I
what,
don't
Robin?
know. He's giving handshakes to politicians. Oh man, that's not good either because Sam
That's
Bankman
not-
did that too. I think he's an honest guy. I just think that he also wears a different hat as a CEO. So take what he says in Twitter and other people's live streams when he's in an interview format or, when he's being interviewed, when he's on CNN. He's saying what his PR team is packaging up for him. He's looking at all of the, there's a lot of, everyone's in between 5 and 6. See, I'm about
Tyler
right
Wood
there,
threw up a Fibonacci level.
too.
think. Man. The reason I ask is because there was a tweet thread put out. Now, I wanna highlight this is opinion. This doesn't mean anything happened with Binance. This doesn't mean CZ's done anything wrong. It's just evaluating what he said, his actions since FTX. And I'm curious to get your guys' take. So this is from Dylan LeClaire. Okay, now this guy is a senior journalist for Bitcoin Magazine. He is a Bitcoin maxi. He's also called out stuff like BlockFi, stuff like Celsius, stuff like Terra Luna before they collapsed. And so he's got some credibility as far as following up on things and really honing in on, hey, man, something's not right. So he came out with this tweet thread today. Is anyone else getting weird vibes from CZ right now? It's like he's running the SBF summer playbook. Public projection of strength and talks of industry bailouts while attempting to raise funds. I'm not claiming anything, but the similarities are odd. Punching down on weak exchanges, attempting to raise money, pledged $1 billion of BUSD that was in exchange reserved, unanswered questions on their audit firm, which we'll get into that here in a little bit from Jesse Powell. Just odd. I'm claiming nothing, but my BS detector has been set off a few times. Then there was this whole tweet about they had to move, what was it, $2 billion of Bitcoin The auditor required us to send a specific amount to ourselves to show we control the wallet, and the rest goes to a change address, which is a new address. I've never heard of this before, of you having to move funds.
So how do you prove the wallet is yours?
Here's my seed phrase. I mean, you're not going to show the seed phrase, but I mean, is
not
that how it works?
No, when you're talking about billions of dollars worth of money, how can you can literally point to any address that isn't tied to a public figure and be like, oh, that's ours. Okay, then show us it's yours. Okay, I just moved it. There you go. It's mine.
Okay. If that's how it works, if that's how it
I'm
works.
just saying, I mean, that is how it works. It's simple.
So you know for a fact that to get audited and show that
if I have 5 Bitcoin in a wallet and I tell you that's my address, I could literally pick any wallet on throughout the whole
question
blockchain.
I'm asking. The question I'm asking is that a fact that these audit companies, that's their requirement to show that you
is
control
not their
the wallet?
requirement. But I'm just saying that is one way of showing you have ownership is to move it from one wallet to another and say you're going to do it. So if I say, hey guys, you guys don't believe this is my wallet? Okay, this is another wallet. We're going to send it there in 5 minutes. And then in 5 minutes later, you see the transaction. 100%, no way that can be done in a fraudulent way, right? Unless you control the wallet. So if you were to call somebody out, let's just say FTX before all this happened. They were like, hey, we have 100,000 Bitcoin in this wallet. Like, do you? You sure? And we're like, okay, here's the on-chain data. And then you'd be like, okay, well then why don't you move it from one to another? If they do it, then there's no argument there. If you don't do it, then you got to fall back to who did it? Was it Crypto.com?
Or what?
No, it was Grayscale.
That said, we're not going to show the addresses.
Yeah. Was it Grayscale?
That was Grayscale. It was it was Grayscale and Coinbase.
Yeah, Grayscale and Coinbase are like, yeah, we're not going to compromise security by moving it around. Kind of makes sense, because there's points of vulnerability, and there can be errors moving that much money around. I mean, would you feel comfortable moving around billions of dollars? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much security you have, you still have to type in those numbers or copy and paste it. And then you have to hit the send button and hope that, and you got to plug it into the internet. So at that moment when you plug it into the internet, if that computer gets compromised, you could, lose. You know what I mean? There is some validity to it, right? Now, albeit the risk can be minute and super small, and you can have an exact procedure and process for doing it. But there's two things. If it's on a hardware wallet, not plugged into the internet, offline, there is zero possibility for compromise. Now you plug it into the internet, you plug it into a computer, you give somebody the power to move it, and they have to make sure the address is right and sending it to the right place. You could have a boo-boo.
Did you hear the news about MetaMask? Now they're going to start to collect IP address.
It's not that they're starting to. They've been.
I mean, they've been,
yeah.
Okay, so you tweeted from our handle. You said, "Am I the only one that doesn't think this?"
I don't think it's a big
of
deal. I don't.
MetaMask provides.
I never believed MetaMask was 100% DeFi. Did you think they were a DeFi platform that had no when they started what was it? They did something with sanctions. So there was sanctions in place, or there's some fraudulent money moving around. They halted some kind of transaction, or they did something. Anyways, if you think that MetaMask is 100% decentralized and it's just a open source code that nobody controls, yeah, you're mistaken.
Guys, understand, nothing is 100% decentralized, not even Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It is the most decentralized, right? But nothing is 100% decentralized. Just understand that. So if you're in this world of, I don't want anyone to know anything about what I'm doing, I don't think that's ever going to, I mean, there's literally cameras at every single traffic light now. I'm just saying that you can't.
The beauty is to, if somebody knows that you have something, but they can't touch it. That's the beauty of crypto, right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Let's just say you have $1 million, and for whatever reason, ex-wife, federal government, some corrupt government, if they want to seize your assets, nothing they can do. I mean, they can torture you and get your seed phrase, but I mean, outside of that, like, they can't physically take it. And, I think, privacy is a big part of crypto, but at the same time, you know what? You control your keys, you control your crypto. So you can see what I'm doing, but doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter for the government because they can't physically take it unless it's on an exchange. Then at that point, yeah.
We kind of, we started with Binance CZ and then we went off topic. I want to come back to Binance. Okay. So this whole proof of reserves, you guys, if you've been watching, you know my stance. I don't put a single ounce of trust into these proof of reserves showing, oh, we hold this much. Well, we want to know how much of it's liquid. What do you owe? And so are you happy, Robin, with this as a proof of reserve? This is from on CoinMarketCap. This is Binance's proof of reserves. Okay. Quote, proof of reserves. Tells you how much they have, gives you the wallet address, right? 31% of the reserves is in BUSD, 24%. And so they got about 55% in stable coins. And then Bitcoin, BNB, ETH, blah, 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 blah. Are you happy with this? Like, if you were on the edge and you were like, I don't know if I trust my money on Binance with everything that happened with FTX. If you saw this, would you say, okay, I feel better now?
If you're looking for better, sure. I feel better. Yeah, I feel better knowing what you have is there. And
so you don't
have
care
ownership.
knowing how much of that money.
Hold on. That's better than I felt with zero information.
Do you still feel good enough
No.
to leave your money there?
No, not at all. This doesn't show liabilities. If you don't show liabilities, it's absolutely pointless. If you're holding $1 million worth of Bitcoin and you're loaning out, or let's just say that, because you don't have to physically give somebody else the Bitcoin for them to have ownership of it, right? You can do it. You ever staked from a DeFi wallet before?
Yes.
Yeah, and without it leaving your wallet?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So
do that with
now
Flow.
your crypto is still on that same wallet address. So if you were to say, hey, I have 10 Bitcoin and here's my wallet address from a MetaMask, I can pull up the MetaMask and I'll be like, okay, yeah, there it is. But you have 5 of them, half of them are being staked. Now, what happens if I'm borrowing that 10 Bitcoin from other people? What if I'm borrowing a Bitcoin from you, a Bitcoin from you, a Bitcoin from you, and I now have 10 Bitcoin? And now let's just say that 6 people go and ask for their Bitcoin back. I cannot give it to them. So the proof of reserves, the proof that it's there, the proof that it's on the wallet address is all valid. I have 10 Bitcoin in my wallet address. However, I only have 5 liquid Bitcoin.
Yeah, how much of that do you have access to?
And it is no different with exchanges. And then even on top of that, you can cloud the water. You can make it even more murky by borrowing money. And so if I owe you $10 million and I only have $1 million here and I can't make my interest payments, defaults on the loan, what do you think the creditors are going to go after? The assets on the exchange. And so this is only a small piece of the puzzle. You're looking at a collage, a mosaic, and it is just one little piece, one fragment of the larger picture that is the inner workings of a company. And you could sit here and say, like, hey, we're a publicly traded company, and hey, we have this amount of profits, but it doesn't matter. If another company owns 20% of your stake or whatever it is, and you owe millions and billions of dollars to other companies, you need to know that information if you're going to trust them to custody your assets, right?
Yeah, you know who else had something to say about the Binance Proof of Reserve was Jesse Powell, CEO of Kraken. Okay, so he said, this is from Crypto Potato. Kraken's Powell says Binance Proof of Reserve is pointless without liabilities. Jesse Powell criticized their proof of reserves, calling it an ignorant or intentional misrepresentation. Jesse argued the Merkle trees are pointless if there were no external auditors to ensure that the exchange did not include accounts with negative balances. He added, quote, the statement of assets is pointless without liabilities. Binance, article goes on to say, Binance does have plans to involve third-party auditors later on, and the exchange proof of reserves does not include negative balances. Should we believe CZ that he's saying our proof of reserves don't include negative balances? Or do you think Jesse Powell has a point? Robin?
That's exactly what I was saying. It's pointless without
So then why
liabilities.
do it? Then why do it?
Because it's better than not having it. Because here's the thing. If you are custodying 1 million Bitcoin, for example, like Coinbase, you're custodying 1 million Bitcoin, you should at least bare minimum have the receipts that you're custodying 1 million Bitcoin, right? At least in some sense, it's like I said, it's one piece of the puzzle, but it is an important piece. It is something that you can hold your hat on. And so, yes, I think we should have it. Yes, we should require all exchanges to say, hey, if I give you my Bitcoin and if 1,000 other people give you 1 Bitcoin, you should have a receipt saying, here's the 1,000 Bitcoin from our users. Now, you should also expand on that and show, hey, this is where our company is in standings. I do want to take a little intermission here from the subject. Give a little love to the chat here. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola. We have Beachhead Best Legend, Dabatola. We got Rodrigo M, Namita T. Holmes, Yo Vela. We got Luna Sestian, Orteba.
Is it Taylor?
And then we got my boy Juan up in here. And he must have seen that Brazilian match, right? Because Brazil played earlier. They won 1-0. So congratulations to you, João. Also, you know what other Portuguese-speaking nation is playing right now? Yeah, well, Portugal or Ronaldo. It's tied up 0-0, by the way. If you see Portugal score, put lots of goals in the chat so that way I know. Because I can't watch it real time, otherwise David will get mad at me.
Thank you, Robin.
And then we also got Dougie2. He says, hola, but he threw an H in there. There's no H in there. This is Portuguese hola.
Derek with an A.
There you go.
What's up, Derek?
And then we also got Gonzo. We got Invest and White Noise. Hola! Welcome.
Also, my boy
Crypto.
Crunk C.
Crunk.
What up, Crunk C? KC. Rob, let's take a look at what the markets are doing.
All right, cool. All right. So, taking a look at the markets, we got Bitcoin coming in at $16,170. And so kind of in the same zone we've been at. You know, we were talking about this morning. I do think that barring a bankruptcy, we'll probably be in this 15 to 16K region for quite some time. Now, whenever the next domino falls, whenever that may be, then we'll get another move. Do you think there's going to be another bankruptcy?
My bet would be Genesis or possibly Core Scientific. Yeah.
So since our subject matter was Bitcoin to 10,000, do you think we get there without another bankruptcy? Do you think the market naturally moves in that direction?
No.
I agree. So
wow, you agree?
So barring another bankruptcy, I would assume that this was the bottom, right?
I think
if
so.
If there's no other bankruptcies, if no other players go under,
or there's no
15K is the bottom,
or there's no like, hey, everyone in Congress and the SEC
like
agrees that
litigation,
everything's a security, then yes.
Yeah. So barring some black swan event from the government, barring a big bankruptcy, barring some kind of major implosion on a major project chain, this should be the bottom. However, I think we're both in consensus that there's more liquidations to come.
The miners, guys. It's the miners.
The contagion is gonna spread, and in doing so, we'll probably push the market and test this 10K range. What's up?
Let's not forget, guys, December 4th, I can argue the biggest FOMC meeting we've had this year. Is it going to be 75? Is it going to be 50?
Be 50.
If it's 50,
I'm just going off I'm going off of the CME, man. The CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, has called by their percentage the last six Fed increases.
Yeah.
FOMC increases. And so I don't see them breaking the trend. They're calling for by the percentile to be 50 basis points. Now, my question is, what's it going to be after that?
What if Tether goes under?
Why would you even say that without any inclination of?
Well, there's news. A lot of their USDT minted and whatever was through FTX and Alameda that they hold a majority. I don't know.
Dave, what are you eating right there?
Don't worry about what I'm eating.
No, we want to know. We
my boy Kyler came back from Hawaii. Brought me this Kona bar. 100% Kona coffee beans and macadamia nut chocolate. Pretty bomb. Big shout out to my boy Kyler. I asked for chocolate. You want to know what Robin asked for? Plates. Small plates. Decorative plates.
I collect small plates.
It was a little awkward.
It was awkward. Okay. So I drill a hole in them and then I hang them outside in my courtyard. So I have a collection of plates, one from Mexico, Israel. And, wherever. My boy Luke here, he's new. He knows what I'm talking about, right, Luke? Hola.
Why would you single out Luke? Okay. All right. So we agree. I think we both agree. And chat, if you agree with us, put a 1. That without proof of liabilities and understanding really what's liquid, what's not liquid, who you owe money to, I am not trusting that exchange proof for reserves. My answer is yes. I think Robbins is a yes. Rocco and Kyler is a yes. I'm putting your vote in. Yes. Let us know, chat.
What I want to know is where the hell is our likes at? Why would y'all like this video? We only got like 100 likes in here, man.
That's unacceptable. All right. Let's get into some of the biggest news of the day for today. So, of course, everyone's talking about this. BlockFi. What the hell's going on? Well, not what the hell. We all know what the hell's going on. But it's been official. They have filed for bankruptcy following an FTX crash. This is also sourced from the Crypto Potato. The crypto lenders' troubles began as the bear market intensified earlier this year, especially after the Terra collapse. There seemed to be a lifeboat thrown by FTX a few months down the road, as the exchange provided a $400 million loan to BlockFi and had the option to purchase a company for up to $240 million later on. The bankruptcy filing reads that BlockFi had over 100,000 creditors and its liabilities were somewhere between $1 and $10 billion. Huge gap there. We do know one of their creditors was the Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States of America. They owed another, I believe, $30 million to the SEC. Of course, that stems from their $100 million settlement they agreed to pay. Not all that money has been paid back. Of course, that when you have large sums of money like that, they don't get paid back in one single paycheck, essentially. So yeah. What are your? Of course, Rob, we're not surprised, right? You're not surprised. I'm not surprised.
No. I mean, everybody knew it was coming. I mean, they were going through the motions of filing for bankruptcy. And the thing is you don't go through those motions unless you're actually doing it, because any investor, anyone that has money in it is going to flee and run. And so you wouldn't even throw that out there unless you're dead ass serious on it.
Do you think this is priced in? BlockFi going under is priced in?
It is. However, I will say this. The creditors that they owe money to, how much was it?
So 100,000 creditors and the number of liabilities between $1 and $10 billion, which that is a massive gap, dude. 1 to 10.
So the retail gets screwed. This is the normal playbook for these big companies. The retail gets screwed. So if you have an account there and you got your assets frozen, you might get pennies on the dollar later on. You might get 20, 40%, whatever it is.
Look, I don't think any of our community had any money on BlockFi. I mean,
I'm not. So what I'm saying is that
you had money on BlockFi?
irregardless.
Why?
Well, why? Because
What's wrong with you?
I mean, I had money in BlockFi. Yes, I did.
You didn't pull it
Not
out?
much, but well, it was too late.
Oh, come on, Rocco.
I know.
Shame on you.
Shame on me, shame on
Bro,
them.
we've been talking about BlockFi.
Gary Gensler took
being
my money. Gary took my
F
money.
for a while, man.
$100 million, and then now it's bankruptcy. So
At least you're honest. I appreciate your honesty. Yeah, I the only money I had on BlockFi was through my credit card, my rewards, but I took that out 3 months ago. Put it on FTX, and took it back out to my my thing. So I agree with Robin. I do think BlockFi going under is priced in.
I just don't think so. I think it's another piece of the contagion factor. And so if you're already underwater, you're already like barely afloat, and if you lent money to BlockFi, you're not getting it back. If you're custodying some kind of institutional reserves or your treasury reserves on BlockFi, it's gone. Right? I mean, how many? I mean, do you think that there's any major players that were using BlockFi as a custodial agent?
Bro, bro.
Right? There has to be a couple, right?
Okay, but come on. You're an institution, and BlockFi had to get a loan from FTX after Terra Luna and 3AC happened, and you still kept your money on there, then that's on you, bro. As an institution, that's on you.
But a lot of these people, they lock up, man. And you got to think, an institution, it's not like...
Let me ask you something.
It's a lot more difficult for institutions to pull their money off than it is for me and you. There's a lot of extra stuff. Like, when people... Okay, here's the thing. An institution is going to keep their money on BlockFi. They're not doing it as a security measure. They're not doing it like, hey, we can keep it ourselves, or we can give it to this exchange and they can just hold on to it. No, they're doing it out of, hey, we'll lend you this money, we'll get 2 or 3% returns, and at the same time, you'll custody it. And you're saying it like it's a no-brainer. There were people, I remember this was only like 5 or 6 months ago, people were over here throwing shade at Michael Saylor for not earning any passive income on his Bitcoin. They were like, well, why don't you earn some, why don't you lend out your Bitcoin, whatever? He's like, oh, I'm not going to take on massive risk lending it out. And everybody was like, yo, this dude is a straight Bitcoin maxi. His brain is fried. He's scrambled eggs up there. And so me and you all felt comfortable. I remember when the guy sold his house and he went and bought like 3 Bitcoin. You were like, yo, you can earn passive income. I was like, bro, don't even do that. And you were dead ass serious. So to sit here and think that, like, oh, how can an institution be so stupid? We had the same mindset.
But that was months ago. Before anything even imploded.
So you don't think there's a contract out there where when you lock up for over a year, you lock up for 2 years. You don't think that if you're gonna hold long term, and you don't think people did that? There's when you lock up, a lot of times,
I'm not familiar.
Retail will only lock up for months. But institutions, when venture capital invests in something, they lock up for years. And I just think that if you're gonna, you're losing incentive by having short-term lockups. And so if BlockFi is gonna try to entice people to lock up their crypto to earn passive, they're taking on massive risk, BlockFi would be, to have a short-term lockup of 2 to 3 months. It would literally be like, hey, we're going to take your Bitcoin, we're going to lend it out. And if you come and try to remove your Bitcoin as we lend it out, it's going to cause all kinds of leverage issues for us. So the institution lending it out is going to try to get whoever it is to lock up for a longer period of time. It gives them more running room. Not room to be fraudulent, but it gives them more running room because then they can lend it out and they can feel safe that they can lend it out again to earn more income. And on the back end, they know that the customer can't pull it out within the next 3 months. And so that's how that whole industry works. And that's why there was so much exposure to FTX, because they were the custodial services for lots of institutions. And even though it was on the wall the week of, you couldn't get your money out. These venture what was it? The Scaramucci's Skybridge Capital, he couldn't get his money out. he was locked in for too long. Kevin O'Leary couldn't get his money out.
Kevin O'Leary.
That's a whole nother subject, but I'm just saying that like there was nothing you could do. And so my question is here, how many people lent money to BlockFi that weren't able to withdraw? And I'm talking about billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars through institutional accounts.
But, again, we believe it's already priced in. So if you're expecting Bitcoin to drop to 15,000, 14,500, I don't think it's going to happen. Off the BlockFi news. We do have a little bit of good news, guys. There is some good news happening, I promise. And here's one of them. Fidelity finally opens their retail crypto accounts to the retail investors like me, like you. This is sourced from the block.co. Fidelity has opened up retail crypto trading accounts after first announcing a waiting list earlier this month. Now, a Fidelity brokerage account is needed to be able to fund a new Fidelity crypto account. But once open, the account promises commission-free trading of Bitcoin and Ether. Robin, how bullish are you on this? Now, we talked about this before the show. We don't think retail is going to FOMO in. But if you already have a Fidelity account, right? If you already got a Fidelity brokerage account, which they're one of the largest, and now front center homepage, you see, hey, open a crypto account. I mean,
we've already kind of discussed this before. Well, we know that Fidelity was already, they were offering, the 401ks.
And they did receive backlash from Congress.
And they also had crypto for their accredited investors, right? Or something of that nature. Anyways, this is, I think, their third dipping of crypto. And this is the biggest one, right? This is the one that's front and center. This is the retail side. And it doesn't change my perspective at all. They're basically they're putting in the liquidity for the next bull run. And so right now, retail ain't piling in. I'm sorry, man, but people are buying Christmas presents right now. You're not, I'm talking about the average family, man. I'm talking about the guy that has, 0.05 Bitcoin and 200 Cardano. That person, they're not like, hey, let me go pile into crypto through Fidelity. And also your traditional investors aren't going to dip their toe into crypto at this exact moment anyways. But what it's doing is it's laying the groundwork. It's putting in the tracks. So that way, when the bull market, starts to rally, all these institutions are ready to run. Their platforms are set up. They've already been tested. They've already practiced for a year of depositing and withdrawals and moving stuff around and how whatever their liquidity provider is, how that works. And you got to build in the bear market. And we say it all the time, man. The best projects build in the bear market. That does not only mean, that is across the board. Your crypto investor, you over here, you build your portfolio in the bear market. You don't want to go buy Bitcoin at 60K. You want to buy Bitcoin at 3K. You don't want to go buy Cardano at $3. You want to buy Cardano at 10 cents. It's the same mentality with the projects. They build, they put in their features, their smart contracts, all of their roll-ups, their throughput. They build in the bear market. And that way, when it's time for the next bull market and all of the investors come in, all of the utility gets used, that's when that pays off. And I don't see it rallying the price anytime soon, but it just gives you more room to run when everyone wants to pile into Bitcoin. Now you have an avenue for traditional investors to get into it. You're not comfortable using exchanges. Would you feel more comfortable using crypto.com as a on-ramp for crypto, or would you rather use Fidelity as an on-ramp?
Fidelity all day long.
There you go. See, there. That's
if I had to pick.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And so that's you as a crypto DJ. Could you imagine
Regular retail.
a regular average Joe that
the end?
has a couple S&P 500 stocks, has no exposure to crypto, and wants to buy his first crypto?
So is this the beginning of the end of crypto exchanges? Because here's usually what happens, okay?
It is the beginning of the end of the market share being dominated by exchanges. Exchanges are not going anywhere.
Who would use, if you're going to lock it up on a centralized entity, who's going to go with a crypto exchange that's been around for 5 years versus Fidelity or Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade?
Here's a better question. If you had 10 Bitcoin and that's kind of your retirement, would you lend it to Fidelity to earn 3%?
Would I lend it to Fidelity?
Would you lock it up with Fidelity for 2 years, earning 3%?
That's a very vague. I don't know. I'm not going to give you an answer to that question. I would have to have more details.
But the fact that you didn't say no is interesting.
What would
That
Or you would say
earning
no?
passive income. I don't know either. I thought it'd be interesting. Guys, you know what? I want to know what the chat think.
That's a good
Chat,
question.
if you wanted to earn, okay, it doesn't even mean if you wanted to. Let's just say you're holding 10 Bitcoin. You have no plans on selling it. You're holding it for your retirement or kids' college or whatever it is. You got 10 Bitcoin. Put a 1 in the chat if you would feel comfortable earning 3% returns annually from keeping it on Fidelity, or would you, 2, not trust anybody, not trust a soul, you don't care how big they are, and you're going to custody it yourself, even though you might miss out on 3% interest. So 2, if you custody yourself, no gracias. 1, if you trust Fidelity and earning some passive income. So, do got some new people in the chat. We got a really fun name here. This one is Frenchie Verse. Then we also got Dale Russell, Invest in Self, Derek. We got Northwest Crypto, John Crane, Gonzo, Supertrain, and Juan de la Cruz. Hola! Welcome.
All right, guys. We do have a video from our man Forrest. So we do Forrest, if you're not familiar with him, he joins our show every Friday, which, by the way, guys, this week he will be joining us on Thursday. Because we do have a guest on Friday. We have a few guests this week. Tomorrow we have a big guest joining. Thursday for us, and then Friday.
Dude, we only got 2 1s in the chat. Juan de la Cruz and Haven put 1. Everybody else dropped a 2.
2's a no, right?
Yeah, 2's a no. That's interesting. And Bubba also dropped a 1.
3 trust nobody.
And Cashy Kratz dropped a 1. But
Quentin said 3.
Everybody else is dropping 2s. Surprising. You know, I think I would probably custody myself. 3%, I just don't feel like, even as comfortable as I am with Fidelity, they've been around for well over 100 years. I just still don't trust anybody, man. You never know.
I get it. All right. So the video today we're showing is on Litecoin. Now, we do know what happened with Litecoin. We know Saylor came out and pretty much gave it his stamp of approval, which it pumped. We know, and some other, I'm not going to give it away. So here is our man Forrest showing us his thoughts and some TA on Litecoin. So if you're a Litecoin fan, put a 1 in the chat. All right. Let's get the show on the road.
All right, so recently Litecoin pumped, and a lot of people are wondering, why did it pump, first of all? And second of all, should we be buying or holding Litecoin right now? So Litecoin is extraordinarily similar to Bitcoin in that it's essentially the exact same thing, just uses a different hashing algorithm. It has a different supply schedule. Now, it does have supply halvings every 4 years, just like Bitcoin. And it just so happens that those halvings come about a year ahead of time, roughly a year before Bitcoin's. Now, while Litecoin has slid down the rankings quite a bit, this is Litecoin's dominance here in orange. We're going to come back to this chart in just a second. It has underperformed the market very drastically or significantly over the last several years, really the last 4 or 5 years, really been underperforming the market. It's gone from being one of the largest altcoins to being, what is essentially now a mid cap. However, recently we've seen this tick up in dominance, meaning Litecoin's been outperforming the rest of the market since about June, which is really interesting because this is starting to line up with our other 2 data points here regarding Litecoin halving cycles. So Litecoin's next halving will occur in August of next year. And what we saw last bear market was that Litecoin actually bottomed and started rallying roughly 238 days before its halving cycle or halving event. We're currently sitting at around 245 days away from Litecoin's halving. So we're starting to move into this zone where we actually saw Litecoin perform really well. Now, the previous halving back in 2015, we saw Litecoin bottom roughly 217 days before its halving cycle. And again, saw stellar performance moving into its halving cycle, and then saw actually very, relatively poor performance post halving. Right. So if ever there's a time, right, if ever there's a time to be allocated towards Litecoin, it is in these periods of time going into the halving cycle where you're in a bear market, right? Going into the Litecoin halving event where you're in a bear market and Litecoin outperforms the rest of the market. Now, you could also say, hey, I want to be allocated to Litecoin after the Bitcoin halving because it performs well then. Yes, but so does everything else. Everything else performs well after the Bitcoin halving cycle, and Litecoin actually underperforms everything else, if that makes sense, right? So after a Bitcoin halving, you want to be allocated to altcoins that are within the current meta or the current narrative. However, in a bear market, historically what we've seen is that Litecoin can actually have these periods of time where it outperforms the rest of the market, right? It outperforms the rest of the market. So you could make a strong case for having a Litecoin allocation in your portfolio right now. Now, I personally don't. I am very strict with my crypto allocations right now, but I've recently been trading Litecoin a little bit. So let's zoom in and see what kind of trade setups that we can find for Litecoin. And we can just be a little bit long biased since we're starting to see Litecoin break out of this sideways range. We want to make sure that this isn't just a deviation. We want to see it hold support on the top of this range, which would actually be very bullish. And that's what we're trying to do right now. And maybe you could draw this range a little bit lower, give it a little bit more time to see if we can hold on to this range and start moving upwards again. If we do start moving upwards again, that would be very bullish for Litecoin. Now, if we move to the linear chart rather than the logarithmic chart, what you'll find is that we've actually broken trend here. We've broken our downtrend line, which again is historically a very bullish thing. However, you have to be careful because you can always come back down to test the top of the range, which would bring Litecoin back to $50 or so, or back into this sideways range. Let's switch back to the logarithmic view. Remove drawings. We're going to throw on some of our longer term indicators. We're going to throw on the easy bands, and you'll see that Litecoin caught resistance here at the red dashed easy band level, which is historically what I would refer to as soft resistance. You can definitely move up through it in a bullish market or when there's a lot of bullish sentiment. But if there's not a strong narrative around a cryptocurrency, it's very difficult to move through these zones. Now, last time we saw this halving occur in August of 2019, and we actually did move deep into our red easy band region. So the question is this just a tag of our red dashed easy band levels, or are we going to move deeper into a bullish market over the next 8 months or so, leading into the Litecoin halving cycle? It's very unclear, to be quite honest, and it's something that could be affected by outside variables such as the S&P 500. Right? If the S&P 500 or the legacy market just completely tanks, it could wash out all crypto with it, including Litecoin. Now, as far as where we could look to get into a little bit of a long position here, we find our margin pressure levels giving us some support between $62 and $67 towards the top of this range. So if you're wanting to speculate on Litecoin, you could let it come back down to this range and then go long, and that would be a nice correction moving into hopefully what would be another pump. We also have a little bit of a trend line here. You could draw it a couple different ways. We're on a logarithmic chart. We could also draw it like that. Not going to get too tied to trend lines. And then our long margin pressure levels off of our range low gave us the perfect resistance to take profits on Litecoin or begin a short position on Litecoin. So where do buyers want to start coming back in? Well, around $60. Or if we move up to our most recent local low,
all right, go ahead.
Our most recent local.
We have some audio issues there. All right, so Forrest, we can't hear you. So Rob, I know we were talking before the show about Litecoin, kind of why it pumped. We know the Michael Saylor thing.
Okay,
go ahead.
Hear me out. Why did Litecoin pump? Do you know why it pumped?
Yeah.
Because of the
it's
halving?
the best cryptocurrency ever.
Because of the halving that's coming out next year.
I joke.
So, although everything is dipping, hey, Litecoin's got a halving next year. Time to buy. Kind of sounds sus, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little sus.
Maybe Charlie Lee bought his bag again.
So we have. So what has been the latest thing to happen to Litecoin? What's the latest upgrade? The latest thing. Whenever you're done eating your
I
chocolate,
see where you're going.
the latest thing.
I see where you're. Mimble Wimble.
Mm-hmm.
What was Mimble Wimble? Privacy.
Privacy. Now, why do I reference privacy? One being that it's you're concealing transactions, and if you are the 36th largest holder of Ethereum, the person that ran off with a bunch of ETH from the FTX platform, and you are trying to get into fiat, or basically,
It's not fiat, it's fiat.
you're trying to launder your money. You want to do it in a private matter. Well, Tornado Cash is you can't use that one anymore. Who has enough liquidity to wash out billions of dollars, or not billions, excuse me, millions of dollars of crypto? Well, you have Litecoin. Litecoin on the market cap list is $5 billion. And so you have enough liquidity to wash millions of dollars there. Probably the only platform that offers privacy that has the capability of washing out millions and millions of dollars. And so where I'm getting at, I'm sure you've already found out where I'm leading this road to, but perhaps FTX is selling their Ethereum. And they did break up a lot of because their Ethereum was all on one wallet. They broke it up into several different wallets. And then from there, they've been moving it around. And the thoughts are he's just straight the thieves. Now, that's what they are, the thieves, because they call them hackers. It's basically just people that work at FTX that are put in a back door, take money. And I think, my personal opinion, and I don't have on-chain data to back it up, but I just caught rumors of this yesterday and today, and we're looking into it, but maybe FTX is buying a ton, or the FTX hacker is buying tons of Litecoin, because why else would the price go up? Is there really some FOMO into Litecoin? And the only reason being that a halving is coming? I find it highly unlikely.
I'm the conspiracy guy. What are you doing?
I'm just saying, I find it highly unlikely, bro.
How big is Monero compared with that?
Monero is small.
Yeah.
Monero is the largest chain that is 100% focused on privacy. Now, there's no like transparency to it. Like the whole damn thing is private, top to bottom. They're a number 24 in the market cap list.
What's their market cap?
2.4.
Yeah. 2.4
2.4 billion. So
that is interesting, though. Their latest upgrade was Mimblewimble, which is privacy. I mean,
here's the thing. If you, David, had, say, $200 million and you were trying to wash trade it, tumble it, whatever. You're trying to get out of the ETH position that you're in, $200 million. Like, what would be your avenues of doing it? You don't have enough liquidity in Tornado Cash. Monero, good luck. There's only a handful of exchanges that even offer it. Nobody in the US offers it. Nobody in the EU offers it. And so you got to go to Hong Kong, Singapore to do that.
if this is
South
true,
Korea.
do you think Litecoin could be targeted by the let's just say
Hell
SEC or
yeah.
something?
You think Elizabeth Warren, old stale crunchy ass, ain't gonna freaking jump up on there? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Why are you talking about your baby like that? It's your baby boo. What do you guys
My
think?
baby boo.
You think Robin's theory has any could possibly be true? Put a 1.
Why
think
the hell else would Litecoin pump?
Michael Saylor, bro, gave him the thumbs up. Having, dude.
Maybe Michael Saylor's intertwined with this.
Okay, stop. That's a little even too much out of my realm of possibilities. All right, so pretty interesting. Speaking of naughty things, apparently the freaking head of the CME literally said he bribes people. So this is from Decrypt. CME Group boss Terry Duffy, excuse me, who also went on, I believe it was a CNBC interview, and talked about Gary Gensler and how he met with Sam Bankman-Fried and thought 100% that he was a fraud. And he tried to warn the SEC, Gary Gensler, but everyone, no one did anything. Same guy, right, was on Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson asked Duffy where the SEC chairman Gary Gensler was while the FTX mismanaging of client funds was happening. And Duffy's answer was, quote, I don't know where Gary Gensler was, but my regulator at the CFTC I bribe. I asked him, why in the world are you invoking the Commodity Exchange Act?
Please tell me you got that video.
I don't. Yeah.
I'll pull it up.
Pull it
So
up.
keep going.
That's it. That's it. But I mean, now people are saying, oh, what if he misspoke? It's been 4 or 5 days. He has not come out and clarified anything.
He clear as day. Clear as day.
Yeah, he said it.
Said, I am bribing people. All right. Let me see here. You got audio? Rocco, you got audio on this thing yet?
As someone involved in business would.
Give me a second.
Oh, yeah, there's the one right here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. All right, yeah, it should be working.
Why did none of the regulators do that? Where was Gary Gensler?
Oh, yeah, we just don't hear it on ours. Can you, okay, yeah, they hear it. Okay, whatever. We know what it says, but the stream will hear it. All right, so this is their video here. Let me know if you think this guy misspoke by saying bribe, or if he,
Maybe he meant to say bride. I was briding. I was marrying the regulators.
all right, ready? There we go.
As someone involved in business would. Why did none of the regulators do that? Where was Gary Gensler?
Well, I don't know where Gary Gensler was, but my regulator at the CFTC, I asked them, why in the world are you invoking
said bribe.
the Commodity Exchange Act, Section 5, Paragraph B?
So what do
That
you
wa-
guys think?
That was definitely, was that a Freudian, what do they call it? A Freudian slip?
You said I bribed.
Yeah.
It would give me one example in your entire life, David, that you have accidentally said bribe instead of any other word. Have you ever like, or maybe he just
No.
bribed so many people that he's just like, oh no, I meant to say like, I bribed my
My wife to do my laundry tomorrow. Like,
yeah,
what?
I did.
Yeah, bro. It's look, I'm not surprised at all. I ain't surprised.
Are you surprised that they're in an FTX discussion? They're talking about Sam Bankman-Fried, and dude, this same guy had is this the same? Yeah, this same guy. He spoke about
Yeah, I talked about this before the video.
Yeah.
I said he was asked about Sam Bankman-Fried. He's like, I met with the guy. I tried to get answers. I immediately knew it was a fraud. I told Gensler. I told these guys. No one did anything. This is the same guy.
And this guy's all like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah. They're over here talking about FTX again. And then this time he's like, yeah. I had a meeting with the, with the CFTC and, I tried to bribe him. I mean, we tried to like have conversation and like, what do you mean you tried to bribe somebody and just,
And just
and Tucker Carlson, shame on you. Shame on you for not following up on that. Cause I know damn well you heard that.
okay, but we didn't see the rest. Did you see the rest of that interview? Did he follow up with, what do you mean bribe? Does anyone know if he did?
I don't think he did.
Because I didn't watch the whole
I don't think he
interview.
did. So
You didn't see the whole thing?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
I didn't watch
but
the whole thing.
It would have been front and center if he did.
If he followed up?
yeah, if he followed up, that would have been part of the article. But I'm just assuming they didn't. So
That's crazy.
Mm.
All right. Guys, come support Big Rob on Around the Blockchain today at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, check out our merch store. If you're having an ugly Christmas sweater party, go check out the merch store. Rocco just designed a brand new Sin City Ugly sweater. It looks pretty cool. Only $55. Actually very, very affordable. Also, go follow us on Twitter at SinCityCrypto1. If you need, there's some affiliate links too for Crypto Stackers and Ledger. If you haven't bought one yet, go ahead and do that. Custody your own crypto. With that being said, Rocco. Friends of family and family friends. We thank you so much for joining us on this Monday after Thanksgiving. We missed you guys. We appreciate you joining us. Come back tomorrow. We have a special guest joining us. It's going to be a great show. On behalf of myself, Robin, Kyler, and the Don, we love you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. See you guys.